Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to teach you how to say thank you in different ways in Cantonese. Now, there are different ways in saying thank you in Cantonese. So, first of all, let's look at one of the situations where you are thanking someone for giving you something. And to express thanks, or the word thanks, upon receiving that gift or that thing, you would say 多謝, 多謝. Once again, it's 多謝, which means thanks for when you received a gift from someone. Now, if you received a more than one gift, like let's say a lot of things from someone, and this is actually more in a more informal way. So basically, it's like your friends or somebody like that. For like thanks for everything, which is like a lot of things given to you, then you would say 多謝晒, 多謝晒. Once again, it is 多謝晒. So now that is for thanking for somebody giving you a lot of things. Now, it is also could be used to express thank you very much as well, where it's going over the top of thanking someone. Now, there's also sometimes you would also hear that they would attach the word really in front of 多謝晒 to actually express that really thank you very much. Again, it's to add on to the strength of the thank you very much expression. So the word really in Cantonese is 真係, 真係. Now, to append to say like really thank you very much as an expression in Cantonese, you would say 真係多謝晒, 真係多謝晒, where the word 真係 means really and 多謝晒 means thank you very much. So especially in a situation where you let's say you treat your friend for dinner in Hong Kong, and in the end, after you pay, they would basically tap you on the shoulder, and they would usually say 真係多謝晒 for expressing their thank you for you treating them for dinner. Now, of course, the last one that I'm going to talk to you about for this situation is the word thank you, which is in Cantonese it is 多謝你, 多謝你. So now going back now, the word the phrase 多謝你, the word you, 你, is actually not that used often in my experience in this language. So in a sense, when somebody gives something to you, in English you would usually say thank you, but in a sense, if you are just if you want to express thank you in Cantonese, you would usually just say 多謝. So 多謝你 is actually a little bit more formal and a little bit rarely used during conversations. So just beware of that. However, though this phrase does exist, it's not like it isn't used. So however, though you probably see it more in writing, like in a thanking letter or something like that, but you won't see it that often used during conversation. Now, the in this situation, this is like the second situation and the last situation that I'm going to talk about in this video. Um, and that is for thanking someone for a service given. So this is for, like, let's say a waiter gives you a new pair of chopsticks, let's say, and you want to thank them. You don't actually say the word 多谢, as I've taught you previously, and instead you actually say 唔該, 唔該, which is another term for the word thanks. Now, if you actually have learned Cantonese before, this term 唔該 would actually be linked up with the word 謝謝 to say excuse me. So the word 唔該 is also sometimes being related to the term excuse me. However, though, in this context, the word 唔該 actually means thanking someone for their service. So for any, let's say waiters, waitress, or when you are at a cashier, etc. If you want to thank them for their service, you would say 唔該. Now, if you want to thank them for all of the things that they've done, then you would say 唔該晒, which is similar to the word 多謝晒, right? It's just that it's a different context. Now, the last thing I wanted to say is the word 唔該你. Well, this is very rarely used, and it may not even be correct. This just sounds really, really odd. But instead, this is usually related to when you use 唔該, it's actually 唔該你 is actually a start of a sentence like excuse me or please. So 唔該 sometimes also means please as well. So when you look at the word 唔該, it's actually you need to define it through the context of the situation. So in this particular case, we're just going to focus on the situation where you want to thank someone of their service, and in this case, you would use 唔該 for thanking them. Now, and I wanted to emphasize again, don't use the term 唔該你, because that doesn't make much sense. So it's very rarely used, and I doubt it would even be used at all in this context. So just be wary of that. The term 多謝你 is actually still a little bit formal, but it's a lot more normal. However, though, if you use the term 唔該你, like, it's actually just sounds weird. Now, the last thing I wanted to touch base on in saying thank you in Cantonese are the ending particles. So, unless you may not know about the ending particles, but you may or may not. But one of the terms that I taught before, like, let's say 多謝晒 and 唔該晒, the last word, the word 晒, is actually a ending particle. However, though, in thanking, you could actually append another ending particle to that as well as any of the terms that I've taught to you in this video so far. So, for example, for these particles that you see, which is 我 bo, and lo. You could actually append, like let's say for thanking for a gift, you could say 多谢我,多谢bo, and 多谢lo. Now, you actually would see right now it's not lo3. So lo3, which is law, is actually not being used in ending particle. But I would actually go back later in this video to tell you what I wanted to emphasize in this case. So I want to correct myself and say lo3 can't rarely or should not even be used for ending particles in this case. So it's just 多谢我 and 多谢bo for now. Now, this also can be used even though, like, let's say you got the word sai, which is another ending particle. Like, let's say 多谢晒 or 唔該晒. You could actually add those particles in there as well, like 唔該晒我, 唔該晒bo. Now, that actually is still okay. It is actually being used a lot too. Now, these two particles, wo and bo, is actually for thanking something that's being done. So emphasize on something that's previously done. So for example, if somebody fixed your washroom yesterday, such as like either your best friend or your uncle, then you would actually would be like 真係唔該晒喎 or 真係唔該晒噃, right? Or somebody like gave you like a box of wine, for instance, then you could say 多謝晒喎,多謝晒噃. That still is okay. Now, what I want to emphasize is the ending particle lo, which is lo3, correct? However, though, if you make it as lo1, which is pronounced lo, now this ending particle needs to be looked into it further. So, for example, if you say 多謝咯 or 唔該咯, now this actually shows insincerity in your saying. So it's actually like displaying that you're mocking them for whatever. Like like let's say if they try to help you, but it actually makes matters worse, you would actually use this ending particle. You would be like 真係多謝咯 or 真係多謝晒咯, right? You would use the word lo to actually express your insincerity towards you thanking them, like in English, like, oh, thanks, whatever, like, it's like that kind of attitude. So be careful in using that ending particle, but sometimes in some contexts you might use it just to express that yeah, you know what, yeah, thanks for screwing things up for me. That's how you use that ending particle in the end of thanking someone, is to express insincerity. So in summary, in this video, I teach you the different ways of thanking someone in Cantonese, as well as how to use these ending particles to express the different types of thanking, also to sometimes express mockery or insincerity in thanking someone. And I hope that you enjoy this video. I hope you learn now how to thank someone in different ways or in the appropriate ways. And I'll see you in a different video.